So we got something. I'm gonna be vlogging this, man. I'm be sharing this a little portion of it up to Cape Coral to go get a tattoo. Now, now I haven't felt a tattoo or had a tattoo in forever. I mean, I must have been 20 when I got the last two. I'm tattooed. I'm 34 now, so I just felt like a few weeks ago I just started kind of getting the itch, and then it wouldn't go away. So then I had to go ahead. I had to scratch it. So we're on our way to go see somebody who's she really is good at doing eagles. Something about the eagle, man. Something about the bird. Like I'm passing Twin Eagles Golf Course right now, but there's something about this bird, man. The fierceness of it, the cool, just the focus of the eagle and what it represents and everything like that. That kind of speaks to me, man. So, it's funny, Tank, that you say that, because when you get one tattoo, it seems like you just keep kind of getting them. It becomes sort of like a thing that you start doing again. Now, when I got my first tattoo when I was a kid, I got my right rib tattooed. I went into the tattoo artist. I said, "Listen, man, I never had a tattoo before. Where do you think is the worst place you can get one?" And he told me for himself personally, this is a personal thing, man, because I know a lot of people have told me different things, like, it's worse here, worse there. But he said, I think the worst place I ever had it was on the ribs. That's what he told me. I said, all right, well, I'm going to get my ribs done then. He was like, what do you mean? I said, well, the way I see it is if I start with my ribs, we'll get the hard stuff out of the way. He was like, all right. He was like, you realize, like, once I start, I can't stop. And I was like, yo, you guys sound off in the comments. What do you guys think the worst place to get a tattoo is? And out of curiosity, how could the chest, especially when they get down by the portions of the rib, like, oh, you just got a half sleeve yet? No shit. So how could the portion of ribs that's on your chest feel different before? Yeah, I tried to look up that dude that you sent me. He said collarbone and neck sucked. Cody, you got your neck tattooed? He said my throat tattoo hurt a bit. Yeah, he got head tattoos too. What's a head tattoo feel like? Forehead, man. Chris don't care. He got his forehead done. That's why his name is Chris Don't Care. He got it. But I don't know. Like, the way I see it is, I don't think the chest is gonna be any better than the ribs, really, because it's just the front part of your ribs, a lot of it, and the breast. Now the one thing I got going for me though, like seriously, when I got my ribs tattooed, I bet I weighed 112 pounds, maybe 120. All right, I was all bone, man. That thing was like a little jackhammer on the bone. And now I got a little bit of cushion for the pusher. He said I don't have any tats, but the forehead seems pretty dumb. Yo, you be telling the truth, bro. That wouldn't be that smart, I was watching these people with these crazy tattoo on their face, like when they got the whole face tattooed and it looks like a scary mask on their face. It's not like, man, how could you go around like that? Like, why would you want to go around like that? But isn't it funny though? Like, even if you had your whole face tattooed, as long as you're not going by no mirrors, I mean, you're still the same person underneath. You just go by a mirror and then you're like, holy shit, I look way different. No wonder people are looking at me all crazy, man. He said the one on my ear, he said spine, ribs, anywhere the skin is thin over the bone, it hurts pretty bad. Now I ain't no Philly fan. I ain't no Philly fan. I don't got no love for Philadelphia. Even though there was a slight chance that I was gonna have to go to Philadelphia to film something, and I could have, if I would have accepted, I could have went to go help film this documentary. But like this month, I don't know what's going on, man. But this month has just been crazy. Gamma wanted me to go to CT, and I really gave it some thought. But the truth is, I just can't. It falls right on my son's birthday. I'm not gonna miss his birthday, and maybe next year or something like that, I could work it out. but we already had a like elaborate birthday party planned, so it's not something I want to do, man. My kids and everything, man, they mean the world to me. Me and my son, we spend a ton of time. We play golf almost every day, and you know, he would just be heartbroken if I missed his birthday. So I could never do that to him. I never wanted to be that dad, you know. Tattoo on the top of my eyebrow. He said my fingers were jumping when the guy was hitting my wrist. That's funny, man. Now I'm gonna get my sleeves like eventually done as well. I think that it's kind of like what Tank was saying. Once you get the itch and you want to go back, you start kind of going back a little bit more and a little bit more. And I don't know, man, I've been kind of like really into this like Polynesian art on the arm. I just think it's so cool, man. He said, tattoo your sphincter. I bet you would like that, Tank. That's funny, man. But nah, I'm sure my sphincter gonna be clenching a little bit today, you know, towards the end of that session. I remember the rib tattoo. I did the first session was 2 hours. That wasn't too bad. Second session was like 3 hours. That kind of sucked. And the third session was like 4 hours, and it was all that shading. It was just a lot of rubbing. And that was the part that and I barely remember it. You know, I barely remember it. But that was the part that I kind of remember, you know. He said the outside parts of the chest and the nipple area are pretty tender. Get the gooch done. Think about how many people would see that. He said the beard grows back quick. You know what? My beard's about to have a birthday. It was June 17th. June 17th. I actually am going to throw a birthday party for my beard. A 1-year celebration. Now, the funny thing is I think during this tattoo, because she's going to be doing a lot of work like right up here, I think she's going to have to like maybe pin this up out of the way or something. She's going to have to, this is kind of like, you guys ever do some weed whacking and you're trying to weed whack under a bush? That's kind of what it's like. That's kind of what it's like. So, and Chad, you know what I'm talking about, man, that situation, they just called me back, man. They said it's under control. So we'll talk more about it, but they're going to put a sign on the back and we shouldn't have no more problems. So he said, get your Rifkin. I don't even know what a Rifkin is. I'm afraid to ask. I'm afraid to ask what a Rifkin is. But I brought the GoPro. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to go up there. We'll make a little something out of it. Hopefully the people at Tattoo Parlor are cool with me filming a little bit. It's a little weird to film at this time. Like, all right, so I'm 10 years in. I could walk around in big crowds of people and talk to my camera, and I really don't give a shit what people think. Like, old people look at me like I'm crazy and stuff. They're like, oh, look at this guy. Look how vain he is talking to his camera. But, yo, I've been doing this for 10 years, and the YouTube channel is a profitable source of income. This is a respectable job, in my opinion. And, you know, the old people that are looking at me probably worked behind a desk their whole life at a job that they hate and never did nothing creative. Like, you know, it's kind of shame on them if they feel some type of way about seeing me with my camera. Yep, I'm on the way right there. I'm on the way right now. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I could vlog in big groups of people, and I don't give a shit about what nobody thinks about it. But if we're gonna go into a tattoo parlor and it's gonna be kind of quiet and stuff, I'm not sure how much, you know, I'm gonna want to do, because I don't want to like make them feel uncomfortable. You know, they're tattooing something that's gonna last a lifetime, and the girl I'm going to see, the girl I'm going to see, she's something of I don't know. She's like real specialist about the Eagles. I'm losing everybody. How the hell did I lose everybody? I know you guys are still there, but this thing be fronting sometimes. So I'm guessing my connection is on the low. But don't worry, when we get a little bit further up, it'll catch up, man. Safety clean. Y'all see that? That safety clean shit is one of the most caustic substances on the face of this earth. I used to have to use safety clean when I worked at this place here. It is disgusting. I could smell it. I could, just driving by the truck, I could smell what that stuff does is it strips oil off of parts. It's a substance, you just dip it in and it strips oil off of parts. Let me know you're here, man. I know you guys are here, but for some reason this thing's reporting that there's 0 people in here. But how's there 0 people in here if people are commenting? He said, I appreciate you, Eddie. Thank you, man. I appreciate you too. He said, I'm not even at that stage yet. I feel nervous in front of people. I'm sure it gets easier. And it is at first. Like at first, like you feel nervous because they can't see your thought process. They can't see your thought process about like how your video is eventually going to come together. And, you know, sometimes I'll even say it to people. I'm like, this will all make sense later, as if they're going to watch. And I know they won't watch, but I don't really care. Like, at the end of the day, we all got a job to do. You know what I'm saying? And let's say that you get hired to do something. Let's say a company hires you to cut the grass on this golf course. And you're hired by the people who own the golf course to go cut the grass. And then there's some old man out there who's telling you he don't want his grass cut. Are you going to let that stand in the way of your $1 million contract? No. Everybody's got a job to do. So, you know what I'm saying? If people want to look at me sideways when I do it, whatever. You know? Do you. Do you. I mean, I'm going to be out here having fun. I'm going to use my channel for a little bit more than just barbering. And I just don't care, man. I want to do things that I want to do. It's going to bring back my creativity. It's going to bring back my spirit a little bit. Because at the end of the day, you got to do things that feed your soul, man. You got to do things that feed your soul. So let's talk about the worst client experience you've ever had. I want to hear some horror stories. Drop them in the comments. And I will share a story from 2003 when I worked at Supercuts. Yes, sir. He said, I'm taking some equipment to Spain. When he goes on holiday, he's going to do a haircut. That's what I'm talking about. Do you, bro? They don't speak English? No, I'm playing. They probably do speak English. They won't know. They don't know what's up. But, all right. So, worst client experience ever. I mean, this isn't the worst. I've had worse. But I'll share one with you that just happened the other day. And then I'll share another one with you from Supercuts. So, we'll start with the Supercuts one. So, as Supercuts, at the time, we were required to cut hair in under 11 minutes. To do a haircut in under 11 minutes. That was like a requirement. Doesn't matter if it was long hair. Doesn't matter if it was short hair. Don't matter what type of hair it was. You had 11 minutes. At the end of the day, they have all the metrics and they tally your time and they see exactly how much time you spend per client. So, you know, it became kind of a game to me to see how fast I could get these people out at Supercuts. So, while I was working super fast, doing super not good cuts, I would average sometimes at the end of a day like 3 or 4 minutes for like 25, 30 haircuts. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is one time, I'm moving so fast, I cut myself, right? And whenever I cut myself, I used to know that I could practically finish this haircut before I start bleeding, and then I could go patch myself in between. But I made a bad decision. Now keep in mind, it's 2003, I'm brand new at this. You know, it's a long time ago. When I cut myself, I think that I'm flying through, I'm cutting the top, I looked down and I noticed that I dripped a drop of blood on my client's forehead. And I mean, my jaw dropped. When I realized what I had done, I looked at my client and my jaw just hit the floor. And he was like, are you all right? And I was like, am I all right? Yeah, I got something in my eye. And I slowly spun him to face the other way and pretended I was fishing something out of my eye in the mirror. But really, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do? Now I grab a towel, I wipe it off. He never knew. He never knew what happened. And that was probably like one of my biggest, stupidest mistakes I ever made cutting hair. There's been others. Another time at Supercuts, I don't know why the hell I did this, but a guy asked for scissors on top. And remember, we're trying to get these done quick. And I just put a number 3 on and started cutting the top. I took a pass like right there. He was like, I thought you was going to do scissors on top. I was like, oh, I am. Don't worry. You know, I realized, I made a mistake. So I took the scissors, man, and I pulled it off, man. I just brought the blend up a little high on both sides. And yeah, it wasn't great, but the good news is it grows back. So some of you guys, some of you new guys, maybe even some of you older guys, man, you might get a little nervous behind the chair when you're about to cut somebody's hair. And the reason you're getting nervous is probably because you're so concerned about doing a good haircut on somebody that you couldn't bear the thought of rejection, or you couldn't bear the thought of you making a mistake. You're holding yourself to a higher standard. You're making it something that it really isn't. All right? Let's keep in mind that we are professionals. We're trying to do the best job we can. But at the end of the day, if you do make a mistake, it's not the end of your career. I've made mistakes, and look at me go. Everybody out here has made mistakes, and look at them go. When you make a mistake and you don't learn from it and you let it hold you back, that's you just reliving that mistake over and over again. Like when I make a mistake in this trade, I try to learn from it and keeps it moving. You know what I'm saying? So we can all make mistakes. You're not performing heart surgery. Their haircut is going to grow back in 2 weeks if you mess up. So with that being said, let that thought take some of the pressure off what you're doing. Get that inner voice, get that calm, find that calm place, and just, tell that inner bitch in you to just shut the fuck up and let you work. And when you can silence that, you'll be free to do the best. You'll be free to do the best type of work that you've ever done, because you won't be carrying all that weight. You won't be carrying the weight of if I make a mistake. I sound like a rapper, but this is just like what I do with my son when we're on the golf course. We have a rule on the golf course. We don't mention hazards. We don't mention hazards in the way that you might think. So I don't go out there and say, listen, son, don't aim at that sand. Make sure you avoid the sand. I say, son, let's keep that ball to the right. We don't think about the sand. We're not drawn to the sand. We're not thinking about the hazard. We're just saying, listen, I want to make sure that you aim right. We don't have to talk about what's on the left. We ain't got to talk about it. I don't go up to the tee and say, oh shit, there's a whole lot of water around here. I hope I don't hit none, because that's when you're going to hit some. When I go out on the tee and I'm like, man, I'm going to pound this bitch. I'm going to pound this bitch into oblivion, and I don't give a shit where it goes. That's when you're going to hit your best shot. You know what I'm saying? So take your shots where you can. That's all I'm saying. You ain't got to be nervous about it. It's not heart surgery. You can mess up. And guess what? No matter what happens, if the people in your shop clown you, if the customer never comes back, if he tells 2-3 of the friends that he has, you're not done. You're not done. You would never have built an empire on that one customer. So sometimes one's got to go. And that's just the reality of it. Eminem said it, bitches, they come, they go. And that's going to happen to you. So, sometimes it is what it is, man. Someone's unhappy, whether you made a mistake, whether it was a miscommunication, whether whatever happened, none of it really matters. And it's not going to ruin your career. You're not destroyed. It'll only destroy you if you let it. And the reality is, everybody acts like they got all these friends. They go tell everybody, I swear, man, I got my McDonald's Happy Meal and the fries were cold, man. I'm going to leave a bad review on y'all at McDonald's, and ain't nobody going to come here no more. I'm going to tell all my friends, and nobody's coming to this McDonald's no more. We done. You guys are going out of business. Yo, do you know that there's people who literally waste their time writing bad reviews on Walmart, McDonald's, Burger King? They do that. Now, do you see McDonald's going bankrupt? I mean, every time I drive down the road, there's another fucking McDonald's. Every time. I mean, I bet you if I was to park the car right now and throw a rock into a random direction, I might hit a McDonald's. So there's gonna be unhappy customers. It's part of the gig, Another thing that I wanted to mention is we try to create like an environment in the shop that's suitable to as many people as you can. Like, for instance, let's say that you desire to get senior haircuts. You wanna bring in more seniors to your shop. Well, does it make sense to have rap music playing, people talking loud, things that would drive a senior out and make them feel uncomfortable? Sure, there's a couple old heads like me when I get old. You know what I'm saying? I'll be cool. I'll be out there vibing to 50. I'll be like 70, vibing to 50, telling somebody about how we used to do it in high school. But the truth is, that's not going to cater to that clientele. Now, if you're going to listen to rap music in your salon, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, the moms, the kids, the older people, they might not like it, but that might not be the shop for them, and that's okay. You're not going to make everybody happy. There's going to be some people that are not going to like what you do, and you have to be okay with that. You cater to the clientele that you think is best. I would study the demographics of your area and try to make it as welcoming as possible for as many as possible. But at the other hand, if that's not you, that's not your style, believe me, man, there's clients to suit any appetite out there. Like my papa used to say. See, my grandfather, he used to sell a lot of used cars. Still does. Matter of fact, he buys cars and sells them a lot of times. But you know what he used to say? This is some useful advice. There's an ass for every seat. And that's some wisdom. That's some wisdom. I always thought about that. There's an ass for every seat. And not to say that the person who's buying it is an asshole, because he might be. But I'm just saying that, there's someone who that's going to be right for. And there's someone that's not going to be happy about that. So you can build it however you want, bro. You can build it however you want. He said, priceless nuggets. He said, hello from, Johnny O, how's things going, man? He's at Duff's Barbershop. This man just graduated not too long ago. Let's give him a round of applause, man. And it sounds like he found his way into a barbershop, bro. So tell me something. How does it feel now that you're on the backside of school and you're in a shop, you're cutting, and you're trying to make some money? All right? I got some advice for you too, Johnny O. Don't worry, man. So, how does it feel to be on the backside of barber school? Because a lot of people watch this. A lot of people watch my lives who are in barber school. And, some of them might even be in that slump. We talked about that slump a few times. And the slump is just about halfway through barber school, maybe not even halfway through barber school. Some people just give up, man. They just stop going. They get lazy. They start working in shops. Shops hire them, and they never can reach their full potential because they never got their license. So they're always ducking the police. I'm talking about the barber board, and they're getting themselves involved in deals that are not favorable to them otherwise. And you need to know what it's like to be on the other side of that slump. So if somebody is listening to this and they find themselves in that slump, it is not about what you do when you feel like doing things. Let's say, like, I feel like doing something right now. I feel like listening to my audiobook as I drive up here and just kind of zoning out. Maybe that's how I feel. But the other side of me says, nah, man, you got a YouTube, you got a fan base, you got people that like to watch you go live, so we're going to go live. It's not about what you do when you feel like doing something. It's about what you do when you don't feel like doing shit. Can you push yourself that extra mile? Can you avoid that beer at night so that you could work a little bit further? Can you avoid those little times of going out with your friends so that you can save a little bit more money so that you can have something for yourself one day? Can you make the sacrifices that you need to make to bring your life into a better place? Johnny O says, I'm loving it, man. He says, I'm loving it. He said, I've been wanting to catch you on a live stream. I'm having an issue when I use that clipper that I own. Let me see here real quick. I open or close, I leave a very tiny bald spot in that area. I'm not sure exactly what could be causing you to leave a bald spot. If your clipper is set up right, and even if it's not, in fact, this kind of reminds me of something. We got a ceramic blade that we've been testing from Gamma. Like, Gamma developed a ceramic blade. They sent it over to me. Now, it's nice. It's nice. I like it. It stays cool. But my other blades, I like the Fusion blade. I like the Slim Deep Tooth cutter. Well, I took that ceramic blade off the other day, and I was using the Slim Deep Tooth cutter. man, that thing cuts so close. It's just so easy to wipe away any skin line. So if you're creating bald spots or anything like that, I'm not sure exactly what's leading up to that. But it may be that your clippers could be set a little bit better. That might be the case. Well, I feel like I'm making good time up in here. She told me to be there at 2:30, so I feel like I'm making excellent time. So if it's making multiple tiny bald spots, I hope it's not yanking somebody's hair out at the root. I hope it's not making, ripping somebody's hair out at the root, because that can happen if the clipper's not cutting properly. So, all right, so Johnny O just gets into a shop. Now, let's keep his expectations realistic. What Johnny O needs to grow. He needs to grow and he needs to gain clientele. So that means that Johnny O needs to make some sacrifices. That means that if Johnny O wants to just go home after he leaves work because he's tired, he probably shouldn't. He should get involved in the community. He should get involved in some, like, maybe youth sports or something like that, church, wherever. But get your name out there a little bit. And that's a perfect opportunity for you to reach out to some people and get some good quality handouts. Now, Johnny O's already got some customers, I'm sure. So the other thing that a lot of us don't do, especially, even at my age in this, in my level of whatever you might want to call it, I could be doing this better. So all of your clients have friends, all of them. And all you got to do is let your clients know once in a while, hey man, hey Doug, listen, I know you like coming here and getting a haircut every 2 weeks, man. I appreciate having you. Do you have anybody like that that might want to come and see me? And if you do, tell them the first one's on me. Tell them the first one they book is on me, because I know I'm going to do that. I know I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to make them like it. And that's going to do two things. One, that's going to get me another customer, more than likely, for life, because he's already friends with Doug, and Doug gave me a good talk before I even went there. Two, that's going to engage the principle of reciprocity, and that client is going to feel the need to reciprocate that act of kindness that you did to him. So more than likely, if you tell him it's on me, he's probably going to pay you anyways. He's probably going to tip you anyways. It's probably going to be a bigger tip than you would have gotten. And secondly, if he doesn't tip you, it might work out even better, because you wind up getting that customer to come back, and that's when he takes care of you. So it's really a win-win. And I don't like discounts, man. Don't tell them, hey, it's $5 off, because they're going to just think that you're cheapening yourself. You're cheapening your service, and you don't want to do that. So all I'm saying is, the clients, they grow up like branches of a tree. You're on one branch, and he's got 3 friends, and you never know which one of the veins of that tree are going to be the most fruitful. I mean, it can be crazy. He said, I was so worried about coming out of school. I questioned this going to work. I wish I started years back. Shop's doing good so far. A friend opened the shop. I came with him, and we've been grinding. So it sounds like he's starting at a new shop, which makes it even harder. It makes it even harder for you to grow. Because if you go to a shop that's established already, there's going to be some clients, waiting for you. And, all you really got to do is be there. Like at my shop, a new barber could start tomorrow with no clients. And all he's really got to do is be there. We're in a good location. A lot of people pop in and want to do walk-in haircuts. And that's when being there, it's like 90% of the fucking battle. Because a lot of people, I ain't busy today, man. I got to go home. I'm going to go home and lay around the house. I'm going to go home and drink beer and smoke weed. I'm going to go home and do nothing productive. I'm not going to go home and make post-edit videos and prepare myself for tomorrow. Hell no. Hank Trill, I ain't doing that shit. So, at the end of the day, you got to be on your grind big time if you're starting a shop fresh out of barber school. And, you got to be putting yourself out there in a good, and you need to be there when those clients do eventually get into that shop. So I've got videos on, 10 ways to grow your clientele, things that you could do, services you could offer. I'm not a big fan about discounts. There was a way to do discounts. I feel like back when I first started, discounts were a little easier to do, because when I first started, wasn't really no social media. So they would put discounts in the newspaper, actually. And for whatever reason, man, $2 off, man. They came in and it brought them in. But that brings cheap ass people that coupon cut to your shop. No offense to any couponers out there, but this shit ain't Publix, man. This is a service that you know, a barber could choose to go above and beyond for you and really leave you with a phenomenal result, or a barber could deem you as, man, this isn't even really worth my time. Like what Tank was talking about. Tank was talking about clients that give you a hard time. They're picky, always got something to bitch about, always want to make it take extra time. Some of them make you want to do 2 haircuts. Like, man, you know, Rome wasn't built by one person, man. So cut that shit out of your life, man. Just, that's what, you know, that's what's going to suck the lifeblood out of you, make you not want to do this for a living. You're going to have clients that are going to come sit in your chair and they're going to give you 2x, 3x what you asked for. And they're going to ask for the simplest cut you ever did. I'm going to tell a little story too real quick about just going the extra mile, because I'm getting pretty close to this tattoo shop. I'm going to pull up about 19 minutes. But I'm going to tell you guys a little story about me going the extra mile. The very few times that I did. I really should have went the extra mile a little bit more. I really should have. But I'm going to tell you a story real quick. Client walks in. He had fairly long hair. He's a young kid. He was in he's 17. He was in I think 12th grade. And he says to me, just shave it off, man. Just take a number 1 and just cut it all off, man. I just want it gone. I says to him, no. I said, well, how about this? I was like, how about I do a haircut for you? You know, how about I do a haircut for you? I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, and if you don't like it, we'll shave it with the number 1. So I gave him a skin mohawk fade. I lined him up. I took extra time. I made everything perfect. You know, I really went the extra way when it wasn't even warranted to. And yo, this kid was so happy. He got up and he had almost tears in his eyes when he looked in the mirror. He was so happy. Yo, look at this girl singing. Hold up. She's singing and shit. She got her hands jumping out the window. Yeah, girl. Get it, girl. Yeah. All right, no, I'm playing. I'm back. He was. So here he was, you know, and he gave me a hug and he goes, so grateful. He's like, I've never seen myself look like this. He's like, man, I just feel so good. And that made my day. You know, it wasn't about the money. That made my day. So that's why I got involved in this. I want to make people look better. I want to make people feel good about themselves. I want people to leave my shop and say, you know what, man, not only do I look good, but I feel good. I feel like a burden is off my shoulder when I can do that for people. So turns out I'm not even making this part up. He's one of 5 brothers and the father. And would you know what? He says, I'm going to tell my brothers to come to you. Fucking all 4 of them and him. So I got 5, and then his father comes to me. He still comes to me to this day. He's still one of my favorite customers. These guys are still my favorite customers, some of them of all time. Just the greatest. Always got a smile on their face. And these kids are sharp, man. They're young. They're successful. They work hard. And they're just great people, man. So all that really came from, I would have never met any of them. You know, and they've enriched my life in ways. You know, I love them kids. I love the father. He's given me a lot of wisdom. Matter of fact, he mentored me partially when I went to buy the shop. And this guy, very successful business. He's very, very comfortable. He would call me at like 11 o'clock at night when I used to work for this other shop. And he would say, Ed, I'm thinking about that empty chair. I'm thinking about that empty chair at Gary's and I just can't sleep. I'm thinking about it. Thinking of all the money that's being wasted. And he would just tease me like that. So he really pushed me to get my own shop. He was like, man, you can't, he seen that I had ownership qualities. I was willing to come in early. I was staying late. I was putting in the moves. And he was the one who just really had all the confidence in the world. And he even said, you know, if there's something you need money-wise, he's like, let me know. Something to get yourself started. I told him, no, man, I want to do this on my own. And I had another customer who was very serious about offering me money. He said, listen, man, I don't know why you're still working for this guy. He says, if it's money you need to get started, just let me know. So that was, you know, that was all I'm saying. Is it's just one of those things that going the extra mile. Not only is it good for your soul, it's good for, you know, every part about it. Every part about it is good, and, you know, only good can come from it. You know, and I look at people who go the extra mile all the way around. Like, I'm just a huge fan of Vic Blends. I think that kid's something special. I always thought it right from the beginning. Like, I remember when he first started coming on YouTube, and he wasn't really active on YouTube. You know, I was trying to tell people about him like years ago, and you know, I just think the world of him, and I just think that he does things because it's the right thing to do, and look at how he's been rewarded in life. I mean, he's literally, you know, cutting all these rappers' hair. He's doing all kinds of stuff. He's been on stages with them. He's, you know, he met Roger Goodell the other day, which I think Roger Goodell's a bitch, but still, I mean, the fact that he met him, you know, is pretty dope. It's pretty dope. So, you know, and Marco says, how can I get sponsored by Gamma? I'll tell you the same thing. And Mario, you asked me if I'm going to CT. I wish, bro. I'm not going to be able to make CT this year. I'm definitely going to be at Premiere, though. So Marco said, how do you get sponsored by Gamma? I'll tell you, man, Gamma, or let me tell you this. I'll tell you how to get sponsored by any company on earth. And this is how you go about getting yourself sponsored. And just to be clear, like, I'm not really sponsored by Gamma. I do affiliate marketing for them. So they don't write me like a set check. They don't decide what I do. They have no say in any video. Like, I'm with them because I love them, because I love their tools. I love the way they communicate with me, and we work on new things. And you know, it's just one of those things that I've not experienced from any other companies. But if you want to get sponsored, or you want to start to generate some revenue from any of these companies, you need to be able to drive traffic to them. Now, if you can drive traffic to them, it's value. If you can create value, then they will want to sponsor you. How do we do this? We do this by posting regularly. You want to post regularly. You want to be showing off the tools regularly. You want to be making yourself a part of that. And, you know, after you've been consistent for a while, and they see that you're going to be consistent, they see that you're, you know, really on the team and stuff like that, you're not going to have a problem. You're not going to have a problem. They might even want to come to you. And that's kind of how it happens. Gamma took a chance on me when I only had 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. And, you know, I wasn't really, in my opinion, I really wasn't no type of, I didn't see myself as someone that companies would want to come after. And to some degree, I still feel that way, you know? I feel like I could be too blunt. I could be too abrasive. You know, sometimes I tell things like it is, maybe a little harder than I need to. Maybe I'm a little harder on, you know, some of these machines than I need to be. But like the way that I feel, like the way that my brain works is like, I despise inefficiency. And when I see it, like, I gotta call it out. Like when I seen the Oster fast feeds, like the Oster fast feeds, bro, probably the number one item that I seen in a bunch of years that just straight up pissed me off. Like I was straight up mad about it. Now I know Barber likes it, and he's been fairly kind to it. And you know, different strokes for different folks, man. But I was incredibly disappointed that we begged for this fast feed and we get this hunk of shit that looks not like it, cuts not like it, and doesn't even stand up to anything else that's currently on the market right now. It was just the most underwhelming hunk of shit I ever laid eyes on. And no, I could not hold back. Could I have been a little nicer and just said, you know, it's a nice clipper, but it's not something I would use. Like, no. That's not my personality. That's not my style. Like, if it was that, like, that's how I feel about some things, you know? Like, if it was that, fine. I'm okay with that. Like, let's take the Babeless Low Pro. Babeless Low Pro is a nice clipper. It's a good quality clipper. And it's just, there's reasons why I don't like it. One is the blade. The blade's not quite as good. I'm sure if I changed that blade, I'd be happy. And then 2, the battery life is not quite there. 3, I don't really get a stand. But if you're talking about just the machine, man, that's a good quality clipper. I could use it, but I really think that the Rebel is still a better choice, personally. So I would definitely be soft on that. He said, thanks, bro. Schooling. I'll be repping hard, and almost half the students want to get the Rebels. That's awesome, man. He said, I need some shears. Shear police, if you're listening, hook a brother up. I'm still rocking my SC Alphas. Damn. Hell yeah, man. He said, how about that super torque motor, the upgrade for the Alphas and the Ergos? He said, I can't wait to upgrade the Alphas and have two Rebels. Basically, yeah, that's what the word on the streets is. And I don't know a whole lot about it. I seen that Rum got a prototype of a vector motor, and that thing looks really strong. I have had the prototype of that motor, so I could tell you just a tiny bit, but I really can't tell you too much. And it's not because I'm holding back, it's because I actually don't know. But that motor, the one that I had, if you try to stop that motor, when you challenge that motor with hair, or if you take your thumb and you just try to stop it, it actually has a chip where it just activates more power, and it just gets crazy strong when it needs to be, or otherwise it just cuts at a normal pace. So I think I'm pretty excited to see, where that goes, in the future. So that's all I'm saying, though. Like, just getting back to what we were talking about. We were talking about if you want to get sponsored, if you want to try to grow with some of these companies, if you want to try to do stuff, it's just about the bottom line, man. And you gotta create value. Man, look at this. Gas is only $4.09 in Fort Myers, and we was paying $4.19. Man, he said, should I cop the Caliber BMG or the 50 cal? I don't know much about Caliber, man. I haven't used. You know what? If I was considering buying something from Caliber, I would probably go watch Tank's video myself, because I haven't touched any of their clippers, so I can't say one's great or one's not. But $4.09 for gas. I could have got gas here, especially in this hybrid. Got 700 miles to the tank. Let's go. But I do still need to get gas. I don't know. Remember you guys were talking about, I was talking about a while ago that I was kind of like interested in the Tesla. I was all about them for a little while. It's worn off, man. I had a customer the other day, and he was telling me about some of the difficulties of owning it, and I just thought, it's just, I'd rather put gas in the car. I really would, at the end of the day. So, all right, y'all. It says I'm about 9 minutes away. Looks like I'm